It will give you all, personalize, none, and unsubscribe. What you need for do, now for come and press this one with the word all. Once you press it, see what you say, you will receive all notification. That means say anytime when we come online, you go able to
get effects of the June 24th general elections are still lingering. The political parties, especially the main opposition, All People's Congress, APC party, still firmly fixated on the key demands. Intervention by the Independent Peace Commission for Peace and National Cohesion graduate from a perspective of national interest to regional, continental, and intercontinental concerns. A team from the African Union, ECOWAS, and Commonwealth jetted in on Friday and has already held preliminary closed-door introductory meetings with both sides of the divide. Chairperson of the team met with journalists and CSOs to get an insight on their views to better understand the issues. The chair explained that they've got commitments from both government and the APC, and their immediate plan is to get the APC to participate in governance. She added that they plan on doing a communique to get the two parties to sign at the end. However, during the brief interaction with the president on Friday, His Excellency Julius Maada Bio welcomed the delegation and said dialogue was an important hallmark of African governance processes. The U.S. Embassy in Freetown also tweeted, "We encourage Sierra Leonean leaders to take steps to build trust, eschew pursuit of personal and partisan interest, and seek outcomes that benefit all Sierra Leoneans and safeguard the country's democratic path for future generations." With all this being said, what is expected from the dialogue starting on Monday, the 16th, to Wednesday, the 18th of October, hosted under the aegis of the ICPNC and mediated by the team from AU, ECOWAS, and Commonwealth? I am John Conte, and this is AYV on Sunday.
Do you not forget for share the program, invite other people and for make we get the 100,000 key. Finally, it don't be because the time look at our doorstep. If you see we not tight up with belts now, forget that particular number. Well, and the next one will be the next one. It don't done. So now the time don't reach. So please continue for sharing the program.
Welcome back to AYV on Sunday. Today we shall be discussing the dialogue between government of Sierra Leone and the main opposition, APC, which is facilitated by AU, ECOWAS, Commonwealth, and ICPNC, not forgetting the expectations. You can follow us on DSTV channel 399, Radio 101.7 FM, and on AYV News Facebook page and other social media platforms. Sending your thoughts and comments. We'll find time to go through them and later on in the program. Here with me this evening, I have, well, some regular voices, regular faces, but very powerful voices as well to help unpack these 2-hour discussions. I have with me Rashid Dumbuya, Esquire. He's a lawyer, by the way, Executive Director, Legal Link, who's with us in the studio this evening. Good evening and welcome to AYV on Sunday, Rashid.
Thanks for having me.
I know. You're most welcome. Ibrahim Tommy, Executive Director of the Center for Accountability and Rule of Law, CAR. Welcome, Ibrahim.
Thank you very much.
We're also expecting one more guest, and along the show we go talk to Honorable Abdul Kagbo, where he represents the All People's Congress Party. Unfortunately, for some reason, we cannot have them in the studio, but when time reach a shortly after the successful dialogue, well, we all look forward to that going to end this week, where it be, as we mentioned in the intro, hosted by the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion. We get support from AU, Commonwealth, and ECOWAS. We will begin to get them for being involved in the thing there. So, well, gentlemen, welcome again to AYV on Sunday. Past 2 weeks have been quite eventful with the actions that we don't be taken, with the conscious and intentional decisions that don't be taken by both, government and that of the opposition. In past 2 weeks, we see Usai, the opposition leader, we lead APC to the elections. Dr. Samuel Kamara issue a statement that he will be part of the dialogue. Temdo reach for the one. Just that week there as well, we see Usai President Bio announced that he's lifting the traveling ban on police. It was generalized, before indicate or mention who that exactly, but that was also a good step. And then just this week, Ibrahim and Rashid, dialogue and mediation will be announced, where the Independent Commission for Peace, they facilitate, get support from AU, start off this weekend. We'll get into the details of that. But let's go to establishing on AYV on Sunday today. Waiting clearly now then process there so mediation, dialogue, arbitration. But you both are lawyers. Almost they smile. Let's start off with waiting a mediation so people can truly understand. And before we get into the nitty-gritty of the other issues we get for tie with, waiting at the interest or demand of them political parties there or the parties involved in the mediation, would I go let go of in interest, how then go get for change in position. Let's start off, Ibrahim, let's start off with you. What is a mediation process or waiting a mediation?
If I don't start with me senior, but I go start and then Usata I go help me. Basically, the way I understand mediation, it's you get two or more parties we get a dispute, something they disagree over, right? And then they know one go na court or go before a tribunal. We go award, for example, you talk about arbitration, we'll talk about arbitration later. Then now go now before a court or a tribunal, go say you right or you wrong, pay this cost or pay these damages. Then some way you can get an arbitration on a court, right? Mediation now they can't say, okay, this time a complaint, you understand? But importantly, the two parties then get for subject themselves to that process and therefore agree for be part of that process, right? You get an independent person with its done and hear both sides and try for the things that they disagree on, then reconcile the differences and get a common ground, basically, which is pretty much similar to a dialogue. And dialogue pretty much close to, it's part of our culture, African culture. We can get barre, we can get bonfire. You understand? Fambo talk, but they do that bonfire thing. Come, lost, you don't talk. Dialogue are just talking and trying to understand each other and try to resolve the, again, differences, the doubts, and bring them. But both dialogue and mediation actually come from a common point that there's an issue to resolve. Let's resolve it through talking, right? And then arbitration now you get for, of course, in basically then get for find, say you do something wrong or you breach somebody right, and then they award, terminate something to the person we get right over the other. But in this case, it's not an arbitration; it's just mediating.
So before I go to Lawyer Rashid, in this case, Ibrahim, for instance, All People's Congress Party, they may get grounds for able for go court and get arbitration done, so then take the matter go na the court of law side and can test the bodies we be involved in the process we then get problem with.
I think it's a very important question, and this has been my position for a very long time, even on this station, that Afadalek make APC, or indeed any other Sierra Leonean, because the law provides if you're not Sierra Leonean, you register, you vote, you can challenge a presidential result. I've done that for let them go test the law. Law will grow with jurisprudence on elections. Even if they lost, I still believe it's alone in democracy will win, because that judgment where the court could make on the case we then go with, for example, simple thing. They say Electoral Commission not be get certified a result from is a district level before it go regional, right? The district election officer don't certify the results before the regional certified before it comes to national. Even on that one day, you understand? I don't like forget a judicial pronouncement on that one day. Even that one day, you understand? We don't hear about statistical inconsistencies, don't hear about mathematical improbabilities that come from the EU report. I don't like for go see you present that report, that result in a court. Say, see this result. This is not realistic. It's not possible for like you get 100 naira but get 20 naira. You see my point? Therefore, that help us grow with jurisprudence. Now, why they not go court? It comes back to something that I'm sure we'll talk about. They say they not trust the system. But if we also not trust the system or not test the system, then the system is of no use. That is why we, even as we acknowledge, say, we systems are not robust, we systems and get trust issues, no doubt, nobody should run away from that reality. But if you don't test them, you're not going to raise them to the level we all want. And that's not the democracy that we want to bequeath to our children. If we don't use the courts, what do we use? Mediation is a good way. And I'm sure, I hope we learn from this, forget about just election disputes. I really think that in the world where we resolve disputes in this country, we'll go really try to include mediation. And mediation is really part of the body. It's interesting that international actors can be there. But they now move forward to just go beyond arbitration and litigation. With the talk at the national level, say, law include mediation in the way how they resolve disputes. So it's a good thing in that regard, but the law, unfortunately, now make provision for mediation for resolve electoral disputes. It's a go court and challenge the result. So, yeah.
Interesting, Rashid, the law not make provision for mediation for challenge electoral disputes. Right. So this one of what use? That you to get this done, and the major issue therefore be around obviously the the issues with elections.
All right, last start. C'est difficult program to talk in Creole.
Yes.
Good guys, would they mix around?
Yes, it's okay.
Let's AYB, thank you for inviting me, and of course, congratulations on content on this AYB program on Sunday. Make I remember me, man. So my wife's back, one go. All right, and I congratulate you and I wish you all the best in this. It's a very big program. The country is watching it, and I'm sure you are up to the task. Also, welcome me colleague here.
Sparring
me man with the spark all the time. Yes, and thank you very much for sharing the program and platform with me. And I look forward to a very healthy discussion today.
Yeah, this issue then at the heart of every Sierra Leonean, and we gladly we would all reach this far. Tomorrow we start effectively, the negotiations. And yes, I agree. The mediation not to really the legal, benchmark for resolve electoral disputes. So now an uncharted, territory we don't go into. So let's see what will be the outcome. Of course, mediation are way two people and get issues and then trust somebody in the middle for just some as an arbiter for resolve and differences, and trust say they will reach a solution where they go willingly agree for enforce, because again at the challenge about mediation, the enforceability part of them is it binding, and how do you enforce that? If somebody says okay, I don't agree again, all right, waiting will be the outcome, all right, of that day. Court can look at them, say yes, you don't make some effort, but then was it a binding thing? Was it coming from a legal framework?
No, but from the lawyers, when I can help for based on the process they were involved in mediation. Now, if a communique is signed, can it be taken a step further,
yes,
registered and become a legal document?
So it depends on what they then do eventually after the whole agreement. If they do something in writing and then sign them, witnesses, even and register them, it becomes a whole. Part of our own legal frameworks and of course the international system as well. Then it will clear now say there was some willingness on your part to have this done in concrete terms. So you cannot come now and say no, me and do I against self. Then it will put you in bad light. All right. So in a new paradigm shift for let we go into a mediation over electoral disputes. So we trust say. We go do this in good faith, because good faith is important in this process. Already, we don't see one or two challenges them, where they happen at the moment. But we trust say that it will eventually affect the outcome of the entire 3 days, process. So this is also new international actors that they come in, in terms of looking at this issue, and then they spearhead the process. We get, of course, the independent Commission for Peace. But then you find out that I'm of coordinating only the play, they see international actors, then they come in, ECOWAS, AU, the Commonwealth, and so forth and so on. Which is also good, because again, I didn't see how they say, when you sit down country and they go through that kind of problem there, you know, coming proactively, then you go give room for anarchy and chaos to happen. You see this happen in Africa now. So many things they happen in African countries then. The military intervene and cause a lot of, you know, headache because they say, well, the governments and they do some things then where nobody need to talk. So then they take the bull by the horn and come in and seize power. So perhaps these are ways we will embrace going forward as a continent and look forward to them in a much more credible way. And perhaps even in the bigger picture, change we lost them for allow for such processes. You know, not all say no more. You see, now we're talking about trust issues. So what if a situation where it's obvious that politics have taken over the judiciary system? You know, do we have other pathways? All right, we'll go also perhaps exhaust for come back to a resolution where it will be a win-win for everybody. So yes, I agree, say this matter should have been resolved through the legal process, and perhaps the opposition party, many opposition party get a reason why they not go there, but that is not still exculpates them from, you know, blame in terms of avoiding the legal, you know, the only remedy provided for resolving electoral disputes. But the thing we're happy about now, you know, that somebody, and I'm happy about this guy, you know, it's a young, brave lawyer, I mean, Augustine, don't now, in a way, put this whole thing in the context. Augustine has filed a case to the courts that perhaps we are all afraid to go. All right, now the case is over the court. So it left to the courts now, and we are watching to first act in speed, to look at this issue, and to see how a logical conclusion will be reached. Because the whole issue is not going to we.
So that means no matter the outcome of this
yes.
dialogue,
no, it's separate. Yes. And it's separate.
The law is still being tested.
Yes,
the justice system is still getting
tested. And it's good that it's coming in you know, simultaneously with this they go on. So let's see also see the courts, they also act in speed for also look at that matter there and try for being a decision as far as possible.
Now, Ibrahim, do we know the terms of reference of this body where they mediate? What are they going to do? Waiting they can for establish. Waiting will be the potential outcome at the end of the 5-7 days in the country.
I think we still maybe tomorrow then go put them out clearly, but I'm happy for us say we get a brief interaction with them this afternoon, the lead facilitator of this whole group. So what they basically say, then get some immediate, medium, and long-term objectives. So it's not just a one-off. I think they want to stay engaged with the country's Sierra Leone.
So what's not the
immediate term, of course, the main opposition APC don't boycott governance processes. So I think in the immediate term, which they want to achieve through these discussions, this mediation, dialogue, actually now for get APC back into governance, and then APC, according to them, don't make
is that going to be facilitative or instructive?
It's facilitative, I think. But I think if again the good thing is the president then say don't indicate say fully committed to this process, committed to peace, and the APC said don't give them commitment, the unflinching commitment to this process, and then the APC don't make some demands. So in the immediate future, now for see how they can look at them demands they are and get APC back to governance. And when I both talk about the communique, I think you even raise them to one notch up an agreement, you understand? So then talks in obviously for them a test of both parties and commitment to this and that. Whatever they agree on, whatever they resolve, then go put them in a communique where they all go sign. But now that they possible mention agreement, it really sounds like a good way to go do an agreement, right? Between two parties. For example, the ruling party may be represented by the Secretary General, and the opposition represented by its Secretary General.
But can the people where them parties they actually represent, for instance, place a demand on them that make it binding, so that we not go back and begin dilly-dally and play with the peace of the nation. So get an agreement signed so that we go all on to account of every commitment we want to make during the dialogue.
We all have to be optimistic about this, and I really feel or maybe in the course of this conversation, I'll get for unpack some things. Listen, from where I sit, I feel like even, I mean, I don't listen to Dr. Samara Kamara a number of times. I don't listen to President B a number of times. Dr. Samara passionate about imparting concerns, passionate about the way how the elections go and all those issues. But not to say any Sierra Leonean really wants let they how they so. So I'm sure at that level, all sides are willing to move forward. But the other level don't discuss it, and there's a lot riding on it. Now the one that we not get for dinner, that room for negotiate. But believe you me, we get, they call them the invisible power holders. We get voice, we're able to mobilize. You have to bring them along. And this was what I told the lead facilitator. It's okay to meet with Dr. Samara Kamara, meet with the president, but those parties have people, you understand? We want great audio. I mean, and this is politics too, John, because 2020 get for Kamara ultimately. You know, what if Dr. Samara Kamara want for run again? And now for losing base through this process. So you get for manage and carefully such that we get an outcome good for the country, but also good for your own political future. We don't know. So there's a lot that we get for manage as part of this process. But I like your point that, yes, whatever on agree, law reduce them in writing, when assign to them, and let citizens, law get citizens and groups, intelligence council, law get people and moral guarantors, even the international come to the camp. So you not go tomorrow, you say, no, now maybe I not say again. What are the implications or the consequences for anybody we want to renege on your own? For example, government say, okay, as part of this process, should I agree, say, we'll go do this. 6 weeks later, you begin saying, no, the law knows allow it for do so. What are the consequences? Right there, we know no one for peace. So would the APC revert to their current position? Would the government take steps to enforce what the APC have committed to do? So those are the kinds of things I hope we don't have to really get to that point, but I really think at the end of this, Sierra Leoneans will want to be sure that whatever I agree on, all sides committed to implementing it.
Rashid, back to you. We established that the outcomes of the mediation there, so not can be mandatory until it become an agreement. I mean, because people can, like Ibrahim say, can back down and say, listen, I mean, we've been saying at first we were interested in this, but it not seem for the go how we want. I think in order to meet the interest that we get, in order to meet the position that will be established, therefore we are backing down, and we go back to the initial position that will be held pre the dialogue. What would make them, like I said earlier, what would make them commit the entire structure of the political parties or even government to a process like this one?
Yes, so the good thing about the entire negotiation, it gets an international, outlook. And you see statements that have been made already by international actors, I mean, before even the commencement of the real talks. So it shows you that it's not one kind, small room talk in the part. This now, the entire world is watching, all right? And it has been cascaded to that level. So I'm sure these people are experts. By the time they reach a consensus, they will have to reduce that into a framework, okay, of an agreement. We go get an intention for create legal regulations, and that's the point. So if reduce that to that level, then you will get problem eventually on enforceability and seeking compliance. All right. So, and even you can even put a whole fork in the road for legal processes down the line. So you have to create the intention for create legal regulations in the drafting and in the agreements where you go reduce at the end of the day on waiting they meet. Because eventually, if we cannot vouch for how people can behave, these are parties. They have like Tommy is saying, they have men who have powers behind the scene. They could go say that thing they win, I go say no agree. And they can be so powerful that they can even start putting a fork in the road and creating more problems. So now we have to ensure, and that's why we are going to take our time, the CSOs, to be a part of this and also follow through. All right. So these 3 days, I will go there, I will watch, I will see, and because we forbid the voice of the people, for CC at the very least, good faith is exercised throughout the process. So now I want to major in today. Negotiation for let it go through. The parties will come before the table in good faith. Was it possible to say right now, if you get a barrage of things the way they want. It could be one way to have national interest, it could be one way to have political interest, party interest. Same as the ruling government. So if they not reach that point, they will say, let's put the country, and I'm happy with the statement of the US representative, which about putting the national interest first. It's against party or personal interest. Because now the fight and the way for happen at the table. all right? Political versus personal as against national interests. So how do we get these people? And that's where our role also is key, CSOs and the people of Sierra Leone. Let we all also be a part of this. Let we not left and get a number so. Let we say we don't tire with this whole debacle to and fro. We want to make progress. So therefore, let we all learn together and say, no, you go to continue way, get more value to the nation. Not to personality, not to like a clash with the titans. All right? Because it's possible that will be seen tomorrow on the first day. Everybody for sure say, get ready for stiff and pull everything. So let's be hopeful. And I have seen people calling for prayers. It's also important that we pray on this. All right? The Muslim and the Christian and pray that people have to calm down. Because honestly, we need to move on. 4 months now, after elections, we are still fighting. And Parliament is going on. People are not there. The councils are, it's happening in the country right now. So we need to move past this. I think say good faith is important, but then good faith also important not only for even the people who they negotiate, but also the arbiters. All right? I also believe say then one day we can negotiate. The umpires, the AU, the ECOWAS, the Commonwealth, and the others, then for also get good faith for all the balance. See, most often again we don't see side negotiation the well because of the umpire. If the umpire not matured, the umpire not want to take sides, the umpire not biased, he go well back in negotiation. All right. So there are things where we all for trust and look forward to even as they start on Monday and pray that God will touch their heart. That one matters. It will go and they will get a peaceful and a very fair process and outcome at the end of the day.
Now, part of what they can do the dialogue process now for establish or get individual meetings with both sides of the divide for establish within the interests, within the concerns, within the demands, within the position talent, how they can able for shift them after the dialogue don't be done. I mean, when the chair for the committee meet with president, it was just a news item. Not much was divulged. And the only thing the president said, according to the news item that was reported by State House, now that he welcomed the delegation and notes that dialogue is an important hallmark of African governance process. You mentioned part of the African society. We get by people that always go families, sit down for establishing settle disputes. However, he said he don't promise for give unflinching support and blessing to the mediated dialogue as he go signal the launch of the dialogue process. We will begin on Monday, this Monday, which is tomorrow. As the party in governance, what are they taking to the table as far as the dialogue is concerned? Ibrahim, within the president in team or the SLPP government they take to the table, what are they going there with?
So, I mean, this is very simple. Now the APC, now then get the most concerns. I would imagine that the government will get your concerns, but for who's out there right now, the APC, now the aggrieved party, so now they get for come with the most concerns now the table. And the government, I think, get for the most part, listen to what APC get for say as a concerns. And so, the one that they mediate now, the whole objective of this now, forget a common ground. This is where you are as APC, and the government is saying, no, we cannot do this, for example. So it's really basically asking, making demands on the government, because they told us at this meeting today that the APC has basically put forward a set of demands. The government has put forward no demands as far as we know. We don't know whether that may change tomorrow.
And you are not told by the chairperson of the committee as well that government put forward any demand?
No, they have not told us.
So the demands, all they can...
Mostly, at least as far as I know now. So it's therefore really be largely a matter of, now this the aggrieved party APC want, government, now what can you do about it? Do you accept it? Do you? And then government will say, no, I can do X, but not X, Y, Z. So that is really what this dialogue is going to be about, making sure that we have a common ground, we're going to make we all move forward. The thing about mediation, and it's interesting we have in this conversation, mediation obviously they offer more in terms of conflict resolution. It offer more than what litigation could do. Because some things that you get out of this mediation, you're not going to court form and get a legitimate, you got to go through a legal process, perhaps some. So that's the advantage. You can bring anything, right? During mediation, then go look at it now. You get forget the lawyers and go say, no, well, legally you cannot do this because it may infringe the law. But once now go infringe the law, but you can bring. For example, I already say one of the demands, I not get them from. Actually, even in Dr. Samarin's last press conference, he talked about how MPs and, for example, not on the world councillors, let them get their salaries retroactively, right? They are legal, they are matters. Actually, this elite facilitators mentioned this. There are criminal charges against some APC members, and they are deemed to be political matters. They won't let them drop. So those may be some of the demands, and the government will look into those, and then get a middle ground.
All right. So will it ever establish contact with, link with Honorable Abdul Kagbo, where I think now company one already represents the All People's Congress Party the dialogue for talk to him and establish within the position with the All People's Congress they go with the dialogue will start tomorrow, or I mean from the pre-meeting with the facilitators. Waiting to happen so far. As soon as we get our we go and talk to him about that. One for welcome Dr. Charles Silva. We're our political analyst. They don't join me now at the studio again. Instead for sharing view on what you would expect from whatever the dialogue or mediation will go for hold and go for come out with from where they start on Monday and go end on Wednesday. Doc, welcome again to AYV on Sunday.
Yeah, good evening, my brother and the rest of our brothers and sisters out there.
We don't establish few points now that one thing that mediation a process where you give or take willingness from both sides of the divide for going at the table, appear they begin waiting and get for waiting at them position there, listen to each other and then able to make a decision on them. We also established that the outcome not can be mandatory. It not can be mandatory. We mean say binding on the parties will be part of them, as in with from a legal point of view. Let's hear your thoughts on what we expect and what this process is supposed to be like, Dr. Silva.
Yeah, thank you so much, my brother. Is there anything how would you do? Let's be very, very honest with yourself. Would they mediate? Sometimes we can't talk book now. But for mediate, when they say me mediation, I'm a village, I mean they call that woman that man they in her friend for me they come talk. Now in mediator, you they bring two people together for me they go to the one to. I remember the general public understand that. You don't need to go from Big College or Jara or Cambridge for no say, wait, now you bring the two people there together for me, they do what they want to do. We've been getting monologue in this country, not so? Yeah. I know we'll call him now, but we brother been very good at that. They say monologue, mono means one, and one really chat. When they say that, me and Tommy or Rashid now we get issue. But the law can't say, we don't put that at the table. We say go wrong, we say you say go wrong, now we establish that because mind you, all them things how they do so. Sometimes people can tell me, say, if you want to come but they say, no go out of the way, now people talk they call me fan. But they get problem. Not a we get issue. Now people they get issue. Now then people they have because they don't reach a point now, personality don't candidate, would have feel say 9 tough, would have feel say 9 sabi, would have feel say 9 get power or not make because powerless. We say, oh I really them better come together. May they really say what thing go wrong. Would facilitate the process now make the EU then come at the receive ECOWAS all that the whole world can. But at the end of the day, they get for back. They never for there forever. Whatever decision we will arrive at now. Now we get for make sure say what we agree and we all show interest, we all show concern, we all show some form of commitment so that we strengthen it. That's how we end the rebel war in this country. Some of we been there call it. I don't know if you been there or when been there. That time they will not get better. They can facility where they know us. I will not be there. Would they put that with black and white way? Not even reach this size. Would they put on before Dini could now? They were all the champ. Some of the ones that would have been the champ. Some of them are ministers there now. We say for them now we won't corner. Now so they say so. For Allah, we try make a can this way. No, get chance. Ceremonies are waiting for us. Some of us then are residents, still then we come out then. Some people then are now then they try for getting and eat. Now put on that kind of way. One for go to outside Israel and they are start for like 100 million times or 1 billion times. I don't think saying like that to all the four. Let's establish that. Then people are they say that they can't negotiate, so because negotiation I would get issue. They get past you. Well, anyway, if you ask me a question, I don't know if I ask you specific question, I answer a specific question, but I want to establish that. Not to right or wrong, would I wrong or would I not right? You don't right or you don't wrong, not get for affect that man within a village from something from this morning we grab, you know, eat it.
But ultimately, you go for affect them. You go for affect them because the man in the within a village should not then vote for the APC parliamentarian and they will say they know they're going to parliament. So when member of parliament then carry bill and go to parliament for go pass them into law, if the other side of the divide not the day for put them voice add on to them, you'll be say the law then go pass no go favor the people them who side then parliamentarian and they come out with the know. So if at the end of the day you for affect them.
It's not something will touch me. As I know in the midst of 2 lawyers and now you don't come sandwich me. Why is it possible not in a society, not the commit law? Now only who side belong, me not the commit law. When it is say people there, you mention one word. We have to be very careful here. We will talk them thing there. We have to be very honest with yourself. This is not about side of the divide. They know they elect you for go parliament for go talk book. Then they elect you for where you go there because the understanding here is that people that they expect say me we want for can head AYB or me want for day na any community where I find me say I say me for be the spokesman, me for take decision, and me for really champion the welfare of the people the way they need it. Fellow, you have to appreciate it all the life. This is about divide. Yeah, the divide is good. The divide here now for men will expand the talk, but not to a win-lose situation. But I think say this bencher will they look at our own parliament because they always see discussion they go. Now one great set today, it look like I say, as far as they concerned, once they did the whole thing they want and they happen. I agree. Now that they happen in reality, but the ideal situation. We don't know our situation. Maybe then in UK where they say some people, the government people, they don't give money, they don't do this, including even the Prime Minister at the time. I know we call name now, but that was 2010 or 2011. Because now this call name don't bring Usa with this one. But who side they go, they all go to parliament, they say the money, the resources where belong to the British people, that money they nobody know for torture. They come up with a bill, would have pay, would have lost in seats, would have in political career, rough in love. They're not doing because they hate them. We always speak for sales, I know better than all of this. I agree, somebody has to win. But let we know, past time, now you get the time we'll get now.
So like come back to you, Doc. The question I asked earlier about waiting, would you expect the the mediators then for do? So waiting would they expect them? You establish clearly, you say a possible talk case between 2 people there. So waiting then all supposed to be in this case.
Yeah, the mediators then. They will take and say na facilitators then, na big people then. If me and me, brother Rashid Naya or Tommy get issue, somebody get for the way it big, that big man, we will all respect. So when they talk about the European Union, they talk about the ECOWAS, now the personalities, the way they did, now people there, where they say don't earn themselves respect in this world to the extent that even with presidents of this country and past, even the stakeholders, they all they respect them. But not to that they will come for now. Why they will do that? Then people will get the issue now, then they negotiate, now they know. They will they get business for good and that. No, mediators now for bring people together. I mean, don't put an artery because we not countryman, they don't talk this thing. I'm glad you all the talk real now. When you not mediator, now they bring 2 people together for me them meet up and go outside and they go run things or make them talk what they want to talk. The one that they get an issue now negotiators then, but I'm not going to go under because we not reach the.
But where you bring them country?
When you bring them country together, it creates the environment that make it good for ask person. AYB in a fine place and say, AYB, what been good? The kind of question whether they ask me, I don't think say I go better do. Then we say, oh, go under now, we go under then can't. But not to that really we did. If not talk no more, we don't talk. So what's that we don't reach? The question what you ask, what would they expect? What would they expect 1996 or 92 or that time they would go around? We not even get better thing. That's what we talk. We put on a door. We all they listen. Then they know me. We they watch them from that black. They tell me the man is young, even though the thing not be too bright, like how you are bright, but the watcher. President Ahmed Yakaba former president of Sierra Leone of blessed memory. He talk one word and other big one they follow. And I said, this day when they are so, the people they were in this salon that they listen to now, because when they talk now, they determine the destiny of their children's children and the like. Now the same talk with them, people who start tomorrow. They want the word they can't help you, they don't go follow you with your hate. What is that what they mean? Now make God give you sense. Would I not get better sense, or would I don't go malad, would I not Chris? If you commit crime, say if you left it on Chris, man go wound you, you will not say you get problem because it not they take a car. But we all therefore be responsible for what we do.
All right. Okay.
What's at the ultimate goal? What he really will hope for achieving all of this? No, they can say a prolonged time. I don't go parliament, I know they take partner, governor. At the end of the day, in whose interest is all of this? I don't go answer that question. May we listen as they whether they contribute, may they tell you. In whose interest? Who are interested in that? Because we are talking about people. What is the problem when perhaps me and you get there, not get out? Everywhere in the world, people then they emerge. People then therefore be important. At some point, everything therefore center around them. But let us not forget one thing. You are only powerful. You know why people are powerful in the media now, even as Sierra Leone and the whole world? Because the Sierra Leoneans, they will not listeners, they across the world want to be powerful. Otherwise, as they say, you will be a hotter. -1.
All right, so let's move on. Thank you very much, Dr. Silva. I like the perspective we bring to the entire discussion. Rashid, I'll take you before I ask some more questions. You want to make some
yes. So thank you, Dr. Silva. I appreciate and I'm glad for sharing the platform with you. Was one of my lecturer in political science. I appreciate you so much, sir. Now, the concern way as a CSO, you know, we don't they push a lot around this issue. We at the very least we also concerned about, even as they go to this table, and as something we will go for really look forward to seeing an outcome we will be in the interest of Sierra Leone. Now the issue about elections, conducting transparent and accountable elections. That one then is something when they are a national interest, something, and because eventually we don't see what will happen in many African countries, you know, in recent times, and many of them they justify say they take power because of irregularities that will happen in some democratic processes, you know, change of constitution and the like. So that is something we're very fundamental, and we they watch for see what will be the outcome of Nandi. Currently, the Liberian election they go on with the land lessons as well with the sea, and I'm glad the way ECSL they involved in that election day and they monitor right now and they see exactly some of the issues then we perhaps create challenge in the elections. So that is key and central to the people of Sierra Leone and even CSOs. We concern and want to see how that will be negotiated, because that will be a panacea where we create problem or a make eventually. Because tomorrow we don't want an election for happen again. Also we will see some issue then way that will be a reference point say when I saw me agree down the line. So and I make for me happy if this will be solved through a legal process, because you know when the judiciary, I mean, you know, come with an outcome. Now two things: either you agree or you challenge them. You challenge them, then you left it be the law. So, but thankfully we don't get a case now. We wait for the Supreme Court, and we hope that case will be speedily addressed, so that at the very least, even if they don't touch the issue in this negotiation, but at the very least, the court could also tell you something as to whether, in fact, you know, ECSL should publish its aggregated data, you know, and make it public to everyone who so desire for wants that information. That is the case before the Supreme Court at the moment. Wow.
So the U.S. Embassy, Ibrahim, tweeted long statement a little bit and say, I just take part of them. Say, though the talks may be challenging, they also present an opportunity. Whose opportunity present for the people of Sierra Leone, those in governance, those in leadership of the respective?
I think among other things, you know, in 2018 or 2019, there was this Bintu Mani theory, right? Where then Selo get a discussion and move forward. Let's get a peace conference, a peace dialogue. That unfortunately happened, but the APC never participated. Why do I mention that? I mention that because I really not seen many opportunities in the last 5-6 years, in spite of all the bickering here and there. And I see many opportunities for let the two parties really sit down and say these are our issues. So as I said moments ago, waiting there can process there, they give you a court action that they give you, even though, of course, I would have loved to see this matter in court. So that where there are doubts, where there are grievances, sometimes possible even saying that this where it's not true. The opportunity that this offers, neither A, it will help we resolve the current political impasse, B, it will help address some of the mistrust. There's deep-seated mistrust between the ruling party and the main opposition party. Here is hoping that some of the issues that will come in the presence of international mediators, we could perhaps share their own experience. And by the way, the lead facilitator, and the former vice president of the Gambia, and was in civil society for more than 22 years. So she comes with all the experience, having worked in civil society and then in government. And I shall we say, it will be obviously fair and be honest and make sure, say, we get the most out of it. So it's really, it offers an opportunity for the government and the main opposition sit down and really discuss a number of issues that perhaps they don't ever get the platform in the presence of international mediators, and hope that beyond this small problem of not participating, I call it a small problem deliberately, but it's a big problem. But beyond this problem of not participating in government, that they will look at other issues and back with perhaps on day before this election, way before this, perhaps even the government can apply. Let's hope that we get that. Quickly on the issue where Rashid talked about, on the issue of disaggregated data. Yes, I agree. It's a good thing to go to court and ask the court for basically declare that ECS said and failure for disaggregate for release disaggregated data, it's inconsistent with the law or best practice. But this whole point, John, a lot of times because we don't read or we only get interested in some things at the time, we don't know, 2018, the EU election observer mission report, one of the recommendations they make after 2018, now for let the ECSL or NEC at the time release disaggregated polling station results for presidential elections. It wasn't released to date. It's not new. Now everybody talks about this like it's the first time that this is a problem. It was go back to the EU election observation report for 2018. It was a recommendation of the EU election observer mission. It was. So that alone, by the way, not they make. This is the point. This is why I would have loved to see this in court. ECS said the reaction when Mara sent them a letter was that the law not required them for publish that data. I have not looked at the law. Rashid is here. He's probably looked at the law. So if you just take them from a legal point of view, they are saying, no, the law not tell you so for publish them. But of course, we all agree it's a best practice requires publish them. But then the other argument is that, to be honest, if me, and this is a general comment I want to make for both APC and even the ruling party, because SAP is in a party today, but they will go in opposition when? Only God knows. The reason we get that conversion now, because whether you're in government or you're in opposition, you want good laws and best practices, because it good for all my good for democracy.
Like you lawyers say, precedents.
You just need them. Let be right. Now, the reason I make you need for publisher. Okay, two things I like to say. First, every political party need for get resources for field monitors them. Now every polling station. So by the time they say result done, when I don't do for count, when I don't sign.
So tell me the resources might be available, but the other question we for us access good day to the polling agents. Now a perceived one party stronghold access.
So for example, APC never assign polling agents in Abuja, for example. I mean, I try to call these things. Listen, that is a ground for a litigation. That is a ground for litigation. You come to court and say the result come way under because it's not allow we. You understand, eh? The law requires a party agent to sign. Say me party agent go, they're not alarmed. You understand? You file a complaint. You come to court. That's what you do. But that's not one issue. But the other issue is that we get resources. And me, I'm one person who really believes, say, the two main political parties need for benefit from state resources for the purpose of elections. Not to for go campaign, but for enhance the integrity of the process. Make sure say them at least provide police agents at every police station across the country, every election, for that the normal, not to for anything else. But the broader point I want to make on that issue is that I would have loved to see this, perhaps in the interest of best practice. Say, if we not get this, and we're not able to get access to Pujan or Kailan or other parts of the country, now ECSL conduct election, let them bring them. He could go to court, not basically referring to law, you understand, but just get a judicial pronouncement on that and say, without this, we will question the integrity of the process. But just to make the point that we can take 3 steps forward and 2 steps backward. This disaggregated data issue is not new. Why didn't we push hard for it? Before we are doing all these electoral law reforms, right? In the lead up to 2023, we should have pushed for this. But now that it's an issue, by the way, I'm not saying ECSL shouldn't release it. They should release it if they have it, and they should have it. But I'm saying it's not new. And if it's become a major issue now, let's ensure that going forward, it is in the law, that it's a requirement, so that in fact you don't declare the result until you publish it. So we all see it. It comes up before your results are announced.
So Rashid, ECSL might not be key actors as far as the entire process is concerned. But if they go, I mean, these parties go to the table and what the APC obviously put down there as one part, then top demands then and say we expect these disaggregated figures for come out. However, we will take the following positions: A, return to governance, you know, B, several other things. What if the commission or the mediator is not able to get the commission for release them figures? What will it change? But also, like the American embassy tweet, whose opportunity this will present for the country and with democracy at the moment?
Yes. So let's be clear. The issue of conducting transparent elections now in all national interests. Right? It's not all on SLP interest, APC interest, and with all national interests. And we don't sign up to many international frameworks as a nation where puts obligation, so to speak, on the government and even the institutions then for do this correctly. All right. Now, so me make the argument on past, you know, perhaps government also maybe push the idea of publishing, you know, data. So they may respond to that. You don't cure an illegality by doing an illegality. That is it. You know, that it was not published.
So is that
then,
is that what you are saying?
So that it was not published then. Does it still justify it not to be published today?
Trust Rashid, do I come up with your logic? So in response to the comments.
No, let finish, please. All right. So you make a mention that in 2018 or so, you see a commission from the EU on the failure of publishing.
I'm only saying we should have done this. It was a recommendation.
Yes, so let me finish. So what I'm saying, we know Hollande as a justification not for published today.
Now you understand of what I say?
No, I'm not going to talk to you. To me.
Okay.
But the way you understand it, possibly Mr. Deputy, they could say, okay, it's justifiable to also hold this one. So we're saying, if it was an issue then, it ought to be an issue today.
Of course.
If it wasn't an issue then, it's an issue today, we have to still look at it because it's in our best interest. So whatever time there is, whether APC or SLP, irrelevant. Is the issue one that meets the threshold of transparency? If yes, then there is no issue. If no, then there is an issue.
So before you proceed, let us get to me first.
Yes, give me 1 minute, let's just end this one. Okay. Let's clarify this. So the point we make, the whole thing about the elections, no doubt, all reports, I've never seen one report where exculpate the ECSL from blame on the transparency and tallying process. None. International, local. I want to see one report where say then do well per the counting and the tallying. That is where the problem was seen. So what the law is saying, which is clear and we agree on this, that plenty of reserve and tool legal means. But now we are trying to find a mediating process. But what will they say eventually, this idea of the past as against the present, I think say we for left that kind of argument now as CSOs or people in way really they advance the cause of human rights and justice and fairness in our country. If APC do one, then I want to say if we can do one back. If SLP do one, I want to say we for break the chain. And that's our role as CSOs, to hold the powerful to account, keeping them honest.
All right, I don't want to keep Dr. Silva quiet for too long, but Ibrahim, quickly before we get Dr. Silva.
Listen, there is this natural reaction I've observed in the last 5 years, in particular, John, we're dangerous in this country. The moment you say, reflect, people have no time for reflection now. As you say, reflect, they say, oh, they want to use the past to justify. That's what I'm saying. I am saying we have not made progress in reviewing electoral laws. In 2018 election report, where the EU do, and you can go to it and see, Rashid, yourself, it was a recommendation because the EU perhaps, and then the only organization back then, we see that as an issue, that we need to publish disaggregated police station data. It wasn't published in 2018. It wasn't. But when, interestingly, John, the APC, Sylvia Blyden, challenged the 2018 election, presidential election result. That was never even one of the issues they complained about. The fact that they not published the disaggregated police station result. I am not saying, and let me be very clear, the viewers, before Rashid, your misunderstanding of my position, move viewers. No, I'm not saying it is not relevant. In fact, I raised it because it's been discussed before as a relevant ingredient in our push for get electoral transparency. Why it wasn't done in all of the electoral law reform we do between 2010 and 2023, it's only God knows. Because at the moment, ECSL is saying the law not require we for publishing. But EU had said, publish it. Why didn't we include that? Now that it was a matter, it was an issue in 2018. In fact, it is even more an issue in 2023. I am saying going forward, mediation, no mediation, you understand? This is something that has to go into our electoral laws. And I've even said you don't publish the final result before publishing the... You publish this. I have made all those contributions. But because you get this way in this country now, as we refer to the past, you're using the past to justify the present. No, Rashid, nobody will stop me from referring to the past. Because if we don't go back to the past, we can't even assess whether we've made progress.
All right, we're still trying to...
Or we are still stuck where we were 5-10 years ago.
With the time we'll get Honorable Abdul Kago, we'll still get him on the program. But I'll come to you, Doc. Now, still continuing with the statement, with the embassy release. Now, one thing we're clear, so until you mentioned, and I asked you that question here about what's in the role of the mediator for the possibility to talk the case. Now, the statement said, number one, they encourage Sierra Leone leaders for take steps for build trust, for put them personal interest and partisan interest aside, and seek the outcome that will benefit Sierra Leoneans and safeguard the country in democratic path for future generation. Say compromise in the best interest of the Sierra Leone people is a shared responsibility of government and the opposition. Most times, mediation okay means a compromise get for happen there, but compromise will happen. Dr. Silva.
Yeah, thank you so much. When people can solve them what they are, these are generic. If you tune with radio tomorrow morning, if you now open AYB tomorrow, now left you know from morning 7 o'clock to 7 o'clock now. Now one grace alone. Then this one grace alone with the stress most better not the apple. Rest the day, we don't talk about stress. We are talking about who goes to parliament, who is not going. You know, why are they listening to these dynamic, legal-minded guys? I'm now going home with a fresh mind. What would they do so? We don't country people, the way they come up, I grew up in a very minute suburb now, Blama, now the most part, then they say, well, lies. I don't know how they can call it lies, but that's the way Kindena people they hear those days.
Loss.
To me. Loss. They say you got to pull out before you plant. Because if you not pull out, if you plant, at the end of the day, it will crash. You got to lose the plant. Now what they do in this country. Are we here? I see they talk about compromises, or the reports they talk about compromising what? Any country will compromise the rule of law, that country sits on the bombshell. This thing, all they talk now injustice. My colleagues and okay, they don't allow you to call them colleagues. Me party them because they are the landed people. They will say this, that. This compromise, I don't need you to who side with it. We are talking about people who sit up and resources in this country where some of we will entire generations until we not go get them so easily. They work for it though. Why would they do all of them things there? Brother, the other way they talk, I read to me, I read Rashid. We all they talk on the same page. Now analysis purpose no. Now we not always feel say today it is you. You can be so powerful today because they want you to be powerful. Tomorrow if they withdraw the power from you, are powerless. But we get them half injustices there. Now we use this opportunity. We never prolong that so much because what in now they talk we as a country. What they talk about would have to go parliaments, major opposition or opposition saying in order to participate in governance, when a very big thanks to democracy, even with national development. May God touch with all hearts, no address, but honestly speaking. But we don't start from this point here. The day when they announce the result, they say, if you want for going to court, you say, you know, they could. Then people are going to the car, we even assume, say, the UN Secretary General, the whole UN, the whole ECOWAS, the whole AU Council, they will not be here forever, they never go back. If we don't accept, say, we went wrong somewhere, we will ever remain. Injustice is there, but we're not this place here.
So who side the wrong day? Who side
the wrong day? Fellow, level accept for your own institutions. They may not be the best, but now they will be. We have to establish that. Pass everything they do what you are able to do because of one or two actions they won't take. Now some of them think they are they do not salon. We get people that will be there in this country. Where perhaps we feel they're so troublesome, they're so uncontrollable now with political system or wherever. Some then in other country, they don't, you know they be every day because their country they don't make room for that. Some here, right?
No.
Their country they don't make room for that. But are we saying here tomorrow, 2028, somebody for just come and say because of ABC and D, I'm not doing this.
So Doc,
get a holistic something.
So Doc, who make the wrong? Electoral process,
wrong?
Social injustice, economic. Who make the wrong?
Who will not make the wrong in this country? We see the continue. And they so respect individuals, then they become so powerful to the extent that they do things and get away with that. This is across the board. Let us not hide the APC or SFPP. This thing is not about APC or SFPP. It is about the mentality of the Sierra Leonean. Some of we don't even get a new car as far as we're concerned. Other people do not have those cars because they are not as smart as we are. And we are smarter. It is about road. State resources. This man, they can't not go no side, not do anything extraordinary in me. Everywhere in the world, people they grow. Would that one for gentry in the world, go do business. If you are in charge of state resources, my dear brother, it is a sacrifice you have to make. So it is a very complex question. Thank God the lawyer they are. We're not able to do that now because the mediator they are will come from elsewhere or even Sierra Leoneans, they get their own business for you. When they don't then go back, we really get for consider. Why make me marry this woman? Why they marry people that they can't celebrate with you? Some man will say I will buy cow, some man will say all the drinks on me. At the end of the day, they are going back. So now we not can. This is another opportunity we don't get. We're not going able for say we get for prolonger for the next 1 month. But when the people are go really, when I always sit on a country, the money we go there. When we go to that place, instead of addressing the issues whether they have bug with them, this person say that person there for candle, this one over there. It is not about Charles Silver. Is it really good for us? So what you make it say, if I now say uncharacteristically, I'm not able to talk more because what if we must with him partner? Now for our grandpa, no, but we all know what's the problem there. Why make we have the courts? All laws we don't kind of this country, even after Israel and Hamas, then they come up with new laws to change things. No, those are. And then laws then it depends on you. We don't get problem with law.
So in this case, look, who's the problem there?
Who's the problem there? We are so dishonest. And they take our one word. I don't talk this but today I talk after today I'm going to talk again. I know the day I will go for talk. The earliest class in this country we are roads. Now we bring all of this problem. Now we say once sit up on the law. Now we got the book. Now we will people then trust. The always some we they talk na their radio ya. The way they talk even in Freetown here or elsewhere. Imagine me now na me village they say Dr. Siva, as they say doctor. Some people they say that is became nowhere. For them, a doctor is a doctor. So all what they say, this year not help you. Una don't get property there. Una don't be una say una picking there. Everybody don't make. We say they pray God for level with that level.
So
peace at any cost.
So, Doc, gentlemen, this
peace at any cost. Yes. Peace at any cost. It better pass Plaba. If not, would I go Israel?
Yeah, absolutely. So this, I mean, 2023 elections seem for is now plenty because I mean media landscape don't go. It's huge. It's big. You get new media now where the proliferation of randomic information, the worker travel faster than they travel 2012, 2018, and on to now. Now that we get all this attention on the elections of this year, can all these recommendations now be put on the table? And like we doc they say, we bring some honesty to the process and begin to identify them one after the other. That's why I'm asking, based on this statement, say it presents to we an opportunity. What we can do with the recommendations there, so the reform of the electoral law, and looking at all the other things and going forward, what we can do for we gentlemen, Ibrahim and Rashid.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Yes, so indeed it's a golden opportunity, and I believe. Now make me and not really want to see, especially CSOs. Let will not they bash the international reports them. It's in good faith and for help you. You know we'll lack. But you see, you mentioned the one we didn't do the last one. But it's in good faith. These people they are trained. They can help you and resources so we give them money. So when they observe and see things, you might ignore it today. Tomorrow it will be an albatross on your neck. So let's come in good faith. I find the word good faith because now it will help we. If we go by this process, we not get that kind heart and willingness for we get an outcome. We go moving forward. We go waste with time again. And Charles Siva, our doctors, very correct. They are them we can't go just now. Now we get for left again. So importantly, we embrace the recommendation. They ask we don't come up from many reports. Don't they bash them. Don't they cry them down. Let we look at them again and say yes, there is something here we can take. And that's why I salute the president. I saw his tweet and all of these things that he welcomes the report. All right, that's how we should see the report. The EU report is there to help us. All election commission they make, they're very strategic because this can count problem. We will create problem while at our country. Election-related violence. It don't happen in many countries. So managing it in a very open and transparent way is key. So let we embrace the recommendations them and meet me things say even in the process of negotiation, then they also look at them. So eventually in the agreement when they would draft, so many things will surface as well. Because like you say, I'm not sure it's like a main party at the moment on that table lay. I don't even go to go and kind inside. But perhaps if they reduce the kind of thing into some recommendation them or some agreements, then perhaps then we'll look at them going forward for perhaps push for legal and policy reforms. But we have to fix our electoral system. It's broken, all right? And then small tier go continue if we not address them in good faith. So what time I talk to me brother, and I know legally like we make they get exchange this in programs, that if we make the argument, I'm not saying it's going to make that negative sense, but sometimes people can misconstrue us to think like we are now trying to justify what is happening at the moment. That's why I was also saying to, caution that kind of approach. What's wrong in the past is wrong today, and if we be bold for saying anybody with their power, whether APC or SLP, I have blasted for APC. They say me and SLP people right now. In fact, SLP can give me a job. So I don't care if they're not going to court. That was a wrong approach. I will say it 100 million times. The only route to deal with electoral disputes is a legal route. And to me, this case may even get route up to ECOWAS court. I was telling some of them, you don't know how it has to do it's a human rights issue, a human right, the right to vote and be voted for. You can bring such case even to the ECOWAS court if you believe that our courts have failed you. So you see? So now we don't pass that stage there and lessons learned. So this is something we have to say going forward. But if any government, especially do the wrong thing, as CSOs, I will, particularly me, I will say it openly without any reservation. I'm not a politician. For now, I stay on the people's side. When I go to politics, I will resign and let them know that I'm in politics. So that's the role we should play. Let's call them to book. Let's hold them to account. Whatever it's APC, it's irrelevant. If they do things the way they come about with body politics, we have to say it as it is and help them out for do the right thing for the progress of the country.
So everyone, the statements we don't come, EU, I mean the recommendations focus on getting electoral reforms. The statement as well from the US Embassy clearly say, ambassador, obviously, on the eve of the dialogue, and they call on all stakeholders for agree on an inclusive process for reforming democratic and electoral laws and institutions to better protect, like Rashid say, rights and reflect the aspirations of the Sierra Leonean people. Tommy.
Yes, no, I mean, even before all of this, I don't sit on this program and say, we don't conduct at least 5 elections since the end of the war, and every election we don't get concerns. Everyone, from 2007, 2012, 2018, every election we don't get concerns. But for say electoral system broken, I think it's harsh, and I think it's really unfair. You are overstating it. You exaggerate, Rashid. We don't get elections. 2007, there was a transition. One party changed, the other one came. 20 to get the same thing, right? We have to. Sometimes we just stating these things not really make you a better activist. It's been, you have to be, I think, sometimes we have to go easy on ourselves as a country. Clearly, the electoral system, we get issues. And those issues have been barely laid out in various reports. There are 13,000 polling stations across this country. They talk about one major thing where really this whole lecture talk about now the transmission of results. Okay, on polling days, some polling stations not on time, but all my vote in the end, not perfect, but at least there was an effort. There were logistical challenges, of course there was an effort. Waiting at the biggest issue in the electoral system right now, as we say, now where people don't vote, they don't count the result, that processing of the result, and can announce the presidential election result and other election results. That's where the problem is. It's not all of it. The EU 2018 report, government and the partners implement fully 5. In fact, the highest rate of implementation of any EU report now in the South African region. 9 partially implemented. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this for a lot of be circumspect in how they describe it. We have made a lot of progress in electoral law reform. The truth is that the 2020 election wasn't perfect, and we have said that before here several times. The truth is that we have to come to this discussion with a clear intention for address the legal loopholes, make the laws stronger, for make sure so we make the progress we don't make since 2007 or even before then, so that we will get. So in these discussions, back to your question, apart from getting APC to come back to governance, inshallah, the one big thing I want for to come out of this, now for let both parties, government and the opposition get representatives in parliament, for say, what's going to make the electoral system better? I don't think it, I think it needs, it can be improved upon. I don't think it's broken. It definitely can be improved upon. What's going to make them better? How we improve them? Now, in terms of resource management, let's focus on resource management. Going forward, you get for release this data, release this result, don't announce until this is done. Create a robust system. We're going to make sure you not just announce any result as a final result, where you not get result the way they explain how you get. That's the biggest issue that we have to address. But we have a system, just to justify my point that is not broken, we have a system where they register people, where they identify people, give voter ID cards, you go question the quality, but not deprive anybody in 2023. Nobody now go with the voter ID card, they say no vote because you get poor voter ID card. So some of these things are exaggerated. We get people that can't vote, then queue, then vote, then count, right? The problem, and that's where I keep repeating myself, the problem now is that when they don't send the votes, right? That management of the results. Now, resource management, John? Now, yonder the problem. They will address a lot of issues over the last 5 cycles. This one now going forward, ahead of 2028, resource management, get forbid the focus. It has to be the focus. And this discussion not going to go nowhere. APC will come back now, governance, it's not to solve the problem. Me don't always talk before we go into 2028, all of these issues, law put in a law, and law make sure say the Electoral Commission respect them fully. That's how it's going to happen.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, Rashid, you have to make a comment. Quickly.
Yeah, you know, me both had misconstrued me a little, but it's okay. You know, when a CSO, and I'm saying this from that perspective, they analyze an electoral problem or a problem in the nation, we know they talk like a politician. They talk like one then way, one for see, an exclusive and if a near perfect society. That's our role. We know they can't talk like politicians. We don't try, we don't make so no. And that's today the danger I see in many of my CSO colleagues. They speak like politicians. We're not politicians. We draw the state to an aspirational level. We therefore push them to get to a perfect state, if at all. That's our role. We don't talk it light with them. Hey, they try. Now to me, talking about the issue of, I said broken. It's broken. In our report we did, the election now we talk about result management and the issue day. And from the start, the registration, going to the verification, going to the issue of getting cards, everywhere along the line that we have problems. And our report, we are clear on this. I don't understand what it meant. So we all knew that we are going to have a problem at the end. Because from the registration, many people were disenfranchised. There is issue of new registrants. There is issue of the NCRA. There is issue of even the phases of the thing. So many things happen. So when we say broken, we want to fix it comprehensively. Not just that abracadabra approach. Take one side and this. No. And as CSO, that should be our call. We call the state to look, do comprehensive reforms. Not just take one side and just fix another one. Because it will crash again. From the registration process, how transparent it was. The issue of the ID cards. People in face do not come out safe. We all know what happened. And the defiant to even change it at the end of the day. So this was a whole chain. That's why I am saying, and it's not new to just the SAP regime. That's the difference with Rashid. I can trace again to APC regime that so many things also happen in their election handling. So when I'm saying, so check now from 1996, if there are no issues since every election, there must be, we don't see election, they will then cancel, you know now, go police, go this, all kind of thing, all right, cancellation, this, that. So that's the point. The impunity of the ECSL in itself is something we have to address. So, that is not saying we have not made some few efforts in the respect to legislation. But that is not all. If I want to make a legislation, they will make it in 2012. We make them in 2012 a key reform. Now 2012 will see them. They will see them in 2023. All right. So we are late in the day. We are managing to catch up. But now we have to sit down and look at everything again comprehensively. That's the argument. Right. So broken not in a negative sense per se that nothing has been done, but now that we have to go comprehensive. Now he's talking about the management of the result. I disagree. That was just one aspect. The aspect of registration, the issue of even the timing, so many rushing of the processes. People not be educated on knowing this whole thing about the PR system. You know, you had argument on this one.
I don't.
All right?
I don't. I don't. I'm sorry, let me just say this quickly.
Hold on. I'll come back to you, Tommy, for that. But we need to move on. Don't not just center around the. I mean, it's the I don't have a color in the elephant in the room, but it's generally what it is really. At the end, now the crux of the, like we can say in Creole, now the Edipandi talk about the Edipandi case. That's where really truly the issue of if we not get the ripples from when the process starts to the management of the results, nobody knowing for the talk about mediation today. That's the edge pan the case, like we say. Yeah. So if we're not being get and then you're not for reach those out. But let's move on quickly. Now we don't talk about the process. Waiting really expect them for do. I mean, both parties will be going to the table tomorrow. Then they go put forward the case. Then they go talk to themselves. I know for sure it's going to be heated, but obviously, with the guidance of the mediators, they did it and go for get the room calm and get everybody for talk and listen to. But what will be a potential good outcome, Doctor? Last start with you. I think will be a potential good outcome for everyone we involved. We established clearly, President say in committing himself to unflinching support to the process. No demands we not get from ruling government side. But then all the demands, the fares, all the interests now from the opposition side. So what will be a potential good outcome way now in the interest of the people of Sierra Leone? Doc, let's start with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. We say we can get the problem. We're so afraid of shame to people then we don't want to establish the fact. We are talking about the people then. No, call names. This matter now between you and that. You know why they ask this question? 2012 was it? I've been fortunate for the Ghana. Where can be the go Ghana? Normally I get a colleague at the university they go and they are can. But we sit down like tomorrow then the court case. Electoral petition, presidential election petition. I became curious to the extent I know it will be an agreement. I said something is about to happen in this country tomorrow that is very important and nobody is talking about it. Now the man tell me, say, go down, they're not going to issue any longer. It's a matter between somebody who lost an election and somebody who purports to have won an election. He said, and then they're going to court. We are moving ahead. But when they allow people, they will get everything it takes to leave. When me they can now, I want my colleague for can help me small, give me small fare before they can and I make a candidate. And we have people that are accomplished, they make so. That will be very honest. Then two lawyers are the team where they talk, now two they talk, but now court is by the name. We don't allow individuals there. Mind you, we are talking about EC. It was INEC, 1996, it became NEC, now it is I. We can get any name. These are Sierra Leoneans. Nature Siva, Rashid, Tommy Wolves, if tomorrow you become president of Sierra Leone, you are taking your characters to that office. Are we doing the right selections? We don't say the problem there for God's sake. Why make you visit America with all the facility, then get a specific date, they say we'll do election. So all the things they go through. I was part of this week constitution business. I mean, for they as the political scientists, now so they call me, they give me small things, don't ask me how much they do. But we need it. But at the end of the day, we sweep under the carpet. Otherwise, whether we go bring the Electoral Commission for America, England, Germany, you name them, we bring here. If not so number with mentality day, some of we, the small book they hold all out for just chat. So that when they say this person, come on, see back, the host and say, don't be within 5 years, they don't how these are the smart these are just thieves. So all of you they say, oh, people they go under tomorrow. Not for me now, we sit on there. If I ask for water, when I go give me. Somebody in the street here and for me, even get water, I know will get. We found with the way they go, and they come back because I know it's $10 than I will favor. That message where President Kabawe they don't under today, which I will all get for aid. May God forgive us for ill mistakes. May we say God forgive we. Until we can't, we know what will go wrong. When they like this place, they see the lawyer and they say, well, who wrongs not they make one right? I don't need for going to school for me and no say, well, you slap me, it's wrong. If I do you bad, if I tell me, say, I do you bad, I beg you. So what you are they really they say, and they find it difficult for talk because all what they talk now, in the first instance, we say we're not trust with justice system. And they use the word we, because the one that way they talk and who will not raise alarm will support. When you are silent, when somebody they do what you consider say wrong, they allow for. When I make some of you get problem. Because me I tell you, I say, you know me more, you know me brother. If you gentry, no, me don't gentry, but this way don't do it not correct. We don't start right from there. But what we say when they talk peace now, because when they talk about dialogue, now for many people they can put their grievances on the table, they find a middle ground, they all resolve and they will move ahead. Because all what they do so, people they under the viewers they need to understand this, or perhaps not to understand, they need for read this. Would they make sure that you know they grow? The demands of ordinary Sierra Leoneans, they don't grow. Them I will all sit down now, all don't meet up in different capacities too, but we all be this outside. Phone, I mean, you probably na Frabi College or me will be the first degree.
No.
Now some of us are even saying every student for sending assignments via email or WhatsApp, and that goes with cost.
All right.
So the Sierra Leonean in 1996 or 20 years ago, not to the same Sierra Leonean now, we are not part of the global community.
All right, Doctor.
Any development where they can. So what here they say? Now big number will they continue for big with brothers and sisters. And the rest of Sierra Leone will all this. Some of you will not get the facilities. Some of you now will not get a return ticket or will not get even perhaps 10-year visa for go anytime we want go. Some of you for even go longer, even the new airport. My greatest opportunity what you for me, I'm not before go do it. What I'm going to now, that will swallow with pride, with pomposity, with status. Then we use the knowledge we don't acquire through ordinary Sierra Leoneans to make this country they at peace, so that the small development we don't start as a country will go ahead.
All right, Doctor.
And that moment go appeal.
All right, Dr. Silva. Thank you very much. I'll come back to you, gentlemen. I still get the question. I'll come back to one. I think will be a potentially good outcome of that these 3 days process scheduled for be held. But we want to go over and take some comments from we viewers across the globe. And for Apple with that, we get Salifu Cherno Kamara for Giwi the comments. Salifu waiting the viewers, then they say.
To power. And a big scam in the moving forward of each person will have something. And Eddie Grant is,
with
who should learn to seek redress to those institutions whenever they feel aggrieved. That's what democracy is all about. I think that's the last message today. And back to you, John Content at the studio.
Interesting comments today. I love the tone of the comments there, man. They don't sound too confrontational and as it can be previously. But it's good. It shows that even the public get one piece and then get an expectation. Then they look forward to what needs to be done. Somebody mentioned how it seemed like everybody didn't have the global village, but we had to progress. We are moving backwards, and plenty other comment there. One point I want to zoom in on now the fact say, I mean this mediation, Tommy, they expect them for come down with a sledgehammer and stamp and say that was an illegal. The results from the election be legal, the outcome not be legal. Therefore, we ask that you have another election, or we nullify the current government. You're not expecting that from such a dialogue.
Well, I won't say I'm not going to expect that, because obviously any party get right for come up with your own demands. But is that realistic? Is that a realistic demand? So I think the first message where the person read, or at least the one we note, the person urge the parties to be very realistic in terms of what they ask for, the demands. And this is what I've always said. When they ask for example, CJ for resign, for the electoral commissioners for resign, is that a really realistic demand? So as much as we acknowledge, say, there are issues we need to be resolved and then get demands, they have to be realistic. So, and I don't expect, this is to answer your question, I don't expect, say, then go put that na the demands, but I not go rule them out completely. But if they put them out na demand, is that a realistic demand in terms of achieving what they ask for? I don't think so. So I think going to this conversation, what you really focus on, how to make sure, say, what to bring with to USA with day, right? No recall, which is why, again, I think, say, even we self when they come na them platform there, you make the point about the tone of the messages. Yeah. We've got to be conciliatory. You cannot rehash the same messages will lead you to this grandstand and all of this. It doesn't quite help for create the atmosphere where everybody go into this conversation with the hope that we'll get a peaceful resolution of the issue. One thing quickly I want to talk about. Somebody say ESS should be part of this discussion. I agree, and I think the lead facilitator tell you today say they meet with the ECSL. The ECSL have acknowledged say they faced challenges in the electoral process, logistics, funding. There are things you understand them. So another thing say ECSL said they run away from the genuine challenges we they've faced. And I don't want to go back to this issue, but I have been in this thing for 12 years. I'm doing some of them years, and they Rashid they work for a government body that they defend all kinds of things, but we'll be there. I have worked in this space for 12 years. I like to think that I have spent every day of those 12 years for see progress. So when they write off me 12 years in this space and say nothing has changed, that's what I quarrel with. I think it's important to recognize as a country, there are many, many challenges confronting our electoral, our democratic institutions, certainly with electoral process, no doubt. If we not be got challenges, we wouldn't be here. There are challenges, John. Everyone should recognize that. But to say that it's all broken is what I disagree with, and if that makes me talk like government official, so be it, Rashid. But I like to be measured in the way how they look at things and identify which are the problems there. And you talk about many, many people are disenfranchised. You don't even have the data. You don't even know whether they're disenfranchised. 1% of Sierra Leoneans. I mean, sometimes, you know, they try not to talk like politicians, but they rehash some things that way. They come from unsubstantiated positions. It's not really helpful to the whole dialogue they get. 2007, 2012, 2018, 2023, we have questioned the elections, but I don't think anyone has ever called the electoral system broken. I don't remember anybody questioned that. We have always said there is room for improvement. So my position is this: going to 2028, the one thing we need for fix more than anything else, John, now the resource management system. If anybody disagrees with me with the that's fine. But in the catalog of issues we'll get by this election, John, the one that is disenfranchised, if any, less than 1%. Voting, the one way ID card not making enough vote, less than 1%. The biggest issue is the resource management. If by all the ID card complain about, they start voting, all of that, if all of that be happen, believe you me, if resource management be go well, John, we wouldn't be talking about this.
All right, okay.
That's my proposition.
All right, okay. I'll come back to Una, but for some reason we, Honorable Abdul Kabo, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, clearly. All right, so let's get on with you. We try to establish link with you on Zoom. For some reason, we're unable to. But let's talk about quickly within the APC they go with to the table. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can get you now.
All right, let's talk about briefly within the All People's Congress Party they go with to now the table for this engagement. Is it first of all, is this one long overdue or timely right now as it's happening?
Well, mostly I believe the dialogue long overdue because we don't take 3 months. Basically, the country is almost stagnated, and anybody will want less how long go before they go want to resolve the issues there. But firstly, let me make some corrections to what Ibrahim Tommy say. That this is not the first time, not the first time where they give disaggregated data. Not only in this way they get elections now alone, but waiting they happen. The disaggregated data, then they take an data.
But Honorable, can you, Honorable, just hold on. Let me try to establish better contact with you. I'll do again. Just hold on. Just then establish better contact.
And a reliable
waiting there now on area reform, with waiting and they put na the screen for split. Like for example, let's say Police Center 1, Natombo, let's say APC 50, SLPP 40. You they pull you area reform, you compare if waiting and the input na the system, the same thing that you area reform. This is not the first election we don't ever get where they not even show you waiting then the input na the system, waiting then carry the result, where they carry the result where they enter, nobody no see anybody. This not the first it ever happened now salon elections. Now that make people then they ask for disaggregated data. Disaggregated has never been questioned because when I go to the polling, when I go to the tally center, where they don't enter. In fact, before ever they send them to ECSL, they make sure say they sign and then they hand on copies of them disaggregated data. Then they all the polling agents then they give on copies of them disaggregated data. Then. But this is not the first time we don't get elections.
So honorable.
Nobody don't know it in the enter.
So honorable, now that you stress that, so now that you stress that, now upon the demands and then they will not take on the table.
No, let's begin with we demand them first. Firstly, we waiting at the bone of contention. Firstly, we believe that the result we ECSL announce not reflect the people and vote. Now we say get new IRF for them with them we as a political party. And we get a technical team will be and over the IRF form than the They don't can do a presentation to we with evidence. All the IRF forms them, about 70% of the IRF forms them, we they use now the elections, we then give a party and then do a presentation to we. So the presentation we then do to we see say we win the elections.
Right.
Waiting them plans to we.
Okay, honorable,
yes,
we're not getting enough time. Just give you a list of the demands they want to take. Go to the table.
One, we get a key demand. Because like when they talk is not when they go into dialogue are forced to misunderstanding. Now in the essence of the dialogue. We're able to settle misunderstanding when establish waiting at problem. ECSL they say waiting the post correct. We they say waiting ECSL not post correct, not correct. So meaning we get we IRF forms and put up and ask ECSL for the new IRF form. We do a comparative analysis. So we not able to establish whether waiting at problem or waiting we go talk we don't know first whether correct or whether wrong. So we need for see the disaggregated results where ECSL get when are in the use for compute, waiting them publish as district results.
So are you saying? So honorable, are you saying without that no engagement?
No, we they engage, but that day now we number one demand. Now the most important demand where we as political party, because it is not only for APC, it is for the sake of the country. Let other presidents not come, you appoint people in a CSL, we go can they announce no more waiting they want. Then they're not the give result, they're not to be accountable to anybody.
How far?
Party we believe say the only way.
Go ahead.
The only way we would get power now to democratic means we for safeguard democratic process. And one way for safeguard the democratic process, now for make sure say it's transparent, now for make sure say it's free and fair. Check us people like AYV when they conduct election for order for be the head of the staff then they don't conduct election, they don't show you vote we score. They just announce result no more say you get 30 votes. They not able to see the 30 votes we score. So bone of contention is publish the results. ECSL now they get the result, now they conduct election. Let them publish the results we then get.
All right.
And after they publish the results, we then declare them we don't suggest them for do an audit on the results we then they publish.
So I mean that means you don't have to revisit the entire electoral process again. Anyway, waiting. How far on are willing for bend? We don't have enough time, unfortunately. How far the APC willing for bend when you go into this dialogue?
Well, basically, the mere fact say we accept we go into dialogue, show say we ready for bend. And the way we ready for bend, now for make sure say we correct the processes and procedures of elections na salon.
As the process they go on, as the process they go on, are you sending including Yusuf to Parliament anytime soon?
Well, then they get for be as a of the dialogue, be a product of the dialogue. So all things therefore happen, therefore be precipitated by the outcomes of the dialogue.
So what if our demands not be met? on a long list of demands not be met?
We not believe say government not going to meet with demands. We believe say government very willing.
I mean, you have the belief. You have the belief, but what if the demands they not be met?
Like I say, nobody gladly with the way we salon this so right now. We see inflation, we see everything, we see taxes the outside. Everybody go want a beautiful country. Everybody go want one country where everybody go look for support. And one way we go get international support. Now for let us say with processes and procedures, then correct, you know. And one way we go do that, then now for let opposition say it's not that way. Say no. Let we go to the processes and procedure. Let we correct them. Or Salon as a country, go suffer as a nation.
So honorable, what if, I mean, this one key action one they ask the electoral body for take? What if, you know, it be decided upon tomorrow morning and the disaggregated figures are announced? Would you get the parts of your party moving and send them to be part of governance?
Well, definitely, like I tell you, the party very willing for participating in governance, contingent on the outcomes of the dialogue. The mere fact that we go into dialogue, if the demands met, not so now they met, in fact, go then at the dialogue, the party don't say, let members of parliament then go to parliament, let mayors then go to council. You know, we just want to government run.
Okay, so finally, before you left, sorry I got to rush you, Abdul Kagbo. Finally, before you left, within, I mean, the people of Salon and obviously supporters of the All People's Congress party for expect, you know, after Wednesday, will the entire process go end?
Well, then for expect say we get a solution to this entire problem. And me, they always say, if solution did this problem, the one that we refuse for provide the solution, be it APC, be it government, be it ECSL, be it anybody will refuse for provide a solution to the current state of governance now in all like this country. So if now the disaggregated data that we ask for as a political party, we the ask ECSL, we not compromise the integrity of the country. This now we want to get. Remember, the MCC cost all over $400 million. They help solve electricity now the problem now the country once and for all. Then they don't stand on just because of refusal for publish this disaggregated data. Remember, we don't get people away that don't get visa ban. Just for the refusal for publish this disaggregated data. We don't get American embassy to ask for disaggregated data. Irish embassy asks for disaggregated data. French embassy for ask for disaggregated. German embassy. Ghana, all the
so Abdul, again, before I left you, if the data be released by, let's say, I mean, ECSL decide to release the data tomorrow, would you guys go to decide they want to vote for and go to parliament and start for work so that you provide a viable and very powerful opposition voice in a parliament and in governance?
I believe as they release the data, I believe say we, the particular instruct we say, we go wisely do audits on the data with ECSL they release for ensure say waiting the people and vote now in the release. Because as I say, we get copies of the RRF for know whether waiting the people and vote for now in the release. But the stubbornness of ECSL now in the progress we country, now in the make we country they not the bad light. But people are not looking at that. They look at, hey, let MPs then go work, let councillors then go work. How you go work by results where you're not sure of, where you not be confident on, and other serious problem back now the compromise of state institution.
All right, Honorable. Unfortunately, we will get for left you here for now. We apologize that we only get you for a short while on the show. Most definitely, the engagement will continue during the week. A lot more media reach out go happen, and for sure, I'm sure you'll get enough time for make clarifications and comments.
No worries. worries, no worries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Abdul from the All People's Congress Party. Gentlemen, we really don't exceed with time for today, unfortunately. And also plenty comments in it. People have told me, I know you for your pen. For sure you're going to go.
No, I'll be check. I'm coming. Right now, I got good tonight.
I really just want to follow, just use 30 seconds and let me round up quickly because news is supposed to go on at 9 and we don't exceed time already.
Yeah.
So let's just use 30 seconds and round up. Let's start off with you, Ibrahim.
Quickly, just for correctity, say I know challenge APC and position say they not see what's go inside the database. What they say was EU in report in 2018 be talks let them publish the data, not to about what them put in the system. Not to that it talk about something completely different than what they address. It's about publication of the disaggregated data rather than waiting actually ECSF they put into the system.
Right.
But in all of this, one quick thing we say was and this goes back to the point I make. If they publish the disaggregated data today, they're going to do the audit, then go back to work. Goes back to my point. Resource management are the biggest issue in this election.
Absolutely.
And let's resolve it going forward.
Ibrahim, to me, thank you very much, Rashid.
Yes, so me and my brother will always agree on certain issues and I respect in decision. My own viewpoint as CSO, our electoral system is broken. We mean to say we need to do comprehensive reforms and not just piecemeal reforms. Now we get an opportunity before a case before the Supreme Court. We equally germane to what the APC they call for. The Supreme Court need to act now in good faith, not delaying for happen. Let them now say they're not going to court, but court case is already now. So let them look at the case and let them decide whether it's correct for SSF or withhold the data or not. Lastly, I appeal also to the government and even the APC. The government on the own side, let's stop the escalation. We don't see some few appointments they go on. We don't hear parliament they threaten, all in escalation. Before the negotiation, you don't want to do these things. It not will create a good environment. So the APC come in good faith. People in Wallin go work. That's the majority's position. As a CSO, I work with the people. Some are not tired with this. Right. Let's go back to parliament and let's go and do our work for the nation and for national good. Right, lastly, on my own part, as CSOs, let we continue to hold the government to account. Now we hold Nande and even opposition people when they do it right. All right, and then an independent commission for peace. All right, independent commission for peace. Do I beg me to extend invitations? They're not invited you at this beginning. I beg do I when as CSOs then we credible when they do the work for people of Sierra Leone. If now do I again, we the right to now. Now invite we all or can all help in the process. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Silva.
Yeah, thank you so much. You see, just like what they say, I can able to talk more, but today I don't find that difficult because we must something which map and the truth with a bit about the bush. All them say how they talk and they really say in case EU or whichever organization or country will say we for do election, they get that right. Who say they can do? So that is a sovereign state. Let's establish that. Whatever people they can do, they can help we follow fix so that what thing they affect will affect their own nationals, the way they are or the immediate neighbors. But all what you make is say, oh, they go under tomorrow. If you really think say you get ego, you so pompous to the extent that you're not ready for compromise that your own personal ego way don't be, you know to leader. Hang on me. Did it? Oh, they go and allow they with a clean mind. Sierra Leoneans, some of them, the water they drink now, the fear will use for kaya, they take care of the families where they don't get them today. Now that we stand for. So to me, with the big everybody, we know what's the truth today. Let we compromise. It's not enough for tomorrow from 7 o'clock to 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We say that one day salary we get every day. Why you know say that one day shoes where you get any side way rugged where you reach there, you take your time. Let we take with time. Let we not go to Usa, we don't come out. I say thank you to all the Israelians and Mrs. and Masters. Let we beg with Papa them, we work them, we husbands them. For say this is not good for we. We don't want to get them accumulate property and don't amass wealth. We're not a criminal offense. Everywhere in the world, people get from the world to work into. Where could stand on a property in the world? What would they risk this one at Israel now with the area now? The one that we don't build houses, the houses that we got maybe don't build neither the person. So I think say by the grace of God, Wednesday, we're not going to meet again for begin say would I do this, would I do this, would they celebrate? We want for APC APC, SPP, then they march.
Yes.
Would they be ended?
Amen.
Tommy, I don't say you did it. Yes. Because you have did it for battle.
Yes.
All right, Dr.
I
Silva.
don't say AY people did it. Cover we. Now, for putting the camera up on you.
Mr. Godede.
Get the inside and say some of our old officials because I don't talk inside. When I get says past all man. When I get for take ISO, this 3 PROs, make this piece. When I go take on our cars, then we'll go back and say we're also supposed to.
All right, Dr. Silva, thank you very much. Well, we've been for like forget you more voices, we've been for like forget you more thoughts, we've for like forget you more opinions. Unfortunately, now so we'll go for end AYV on Sunday for today. Many thanks to the panelists, Ibrahim Tommy and Rashid Doumbouya, both of them are lawyers. We also want to thank the political analyst in the studio, Dr. Charles Silva. We bring a different perspective for help you for understand within dialogue supposed to be, within mediation supposed to be. We're all hopeful that at the end of the dialogue process, a positive outcome will be in the interest of the nation will be made, or decisions will be made. To meet again some other time, we're not on content being AIV on Sunday count to you. This program will be repeated on Thursday at 10 p.m. Many thanks to the entire production team for bringing AIV on Sunday count to you. Up next will be AIV Primetime News. Good night.
All right, and thank you very much for joining me inside this program from AYV, as they call AYV on Sunday. So strictly in the young program, this we just decide for make you really understand or know exactly within they go on with regards this dialogue we all talk about. But in the meantime, please not go no side. We'll come back in the next 5 minutes. We'll end this broadcast and they come back for coming to a very important information. We are pretty sure you want to know because it gets to do with the dialogue when they start tomorrow. So we'll come back, Gigi's know, and we get plenty of other things then we will come and discuss. Yeah. So continue for the week, and if you're not subscribed to this channel, please consider for do so. In the meantime, we'll take a break and we'll come back in the next 5 minutes. Thank you very much, and don't forget for like and share.
We will not forget for share the program, invite other people and for make we get 100,000 key. Finally, it don't be because the time look at our doorstep. If you see we not tight up with belts now, forget that particular number. Well, and the next one will be the next one. It don't done. So now the time don't reach. So please continue for share the program and call other person.